WQEE 99.1 FM The Key, home of Southern sports and talk. Newnan, Sharpsburg, Franklin.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When you hear music, do the lyrics speak to you on a deeper level? I'm Bruce Thornton. Join me and Donna Wood every Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. on WQEE 99.1 FM The Key for our show Lyrical Wisdom. Every week we will dive into the lyrics of songs and uncover hidden messages that we hope will leave you feeling inspired and enlightened. We know that our ideas may not always line up with yours, so this show will be an open discussion. Email us with ideas for songs at lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Let's share some wisdom together.
Are you looking for guidance and direction? Stop on by the House of Light Tuesdays from 12 to 3 and have tea and tarot with Christy. The House of Light is located at 29 Jackson Street in Newnan, Georgia. Call 470-414-6711 for more information.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele. It's now time for the House of Light presents The Wisdom Cafe, each and every week at this time on 99.1 FM WQEE. Here's this week's special.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the House of Light presents Wisdom Cafe here on 99.1 FM The Key, WQEE. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing fantastic for a Friday morning, getting ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm actually going on vacation.
Well, lucky you.
I know. As soon as, after I complete this show, I'll be heading on the road.
All right.
Marco Island.
Oh.
I want to say Polo every time I say that. Marco Island in Florida. I am so looking forward to that. But first, I've got to share some wisdom.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, as always.
Because on the menu today, we have something really, really cool. I have one of our new practitioners with us today, Dr. Paula. We not only carry her products in our retail shop,
Right.
but we also have her as an IET therapist, which is integrative energy therapy. And she can tell you a little bit more about that, but I wanted to start off with where it's based, because I myself don't know much about this. Her products are Ayurvedic products. Have you heard of that, Ryan?
I have not. I think this is the first time. I'm going to learn something today.
Yay! And I hope that all of you will learn something too, because I'm learning as well.
Right.
So what I want to do is I'm going to read the definition of Ayurveda, and then I'm going to let Paula take over and introduce herself, and she can tell us a little bit more about what she does, and then we're going to talk about this really cool... It's so much more Ayurveda is. Let me read the definition.
All right.
Ayurveda is a branch of Indian science dealing with medicine, herbalism, taxology, anatomy, surgery, alchemy, and related topics. Traditional practice of Ayurveda in ancient India dates back to at least the first millennium BC. Literature is commonly written in Sanskrit using various poetic mantras. So I was fascinated. I didn't realize that it's actually a science. It's science-based woo-woo. That's the best way I know how to describe it. What do you think, Paula?
That's actually a very apropos way of describing it. Yeah. I like it. Although, and now science, Western science, industrial medicine is actually catching up to Ayurveda, and they are doing, the Western scientific studies and showing how accurate it is.
Yeah. And Paula, you would know this because I know that you're actually a licensed MD. So you've actually you've actually studied traditional Western medicine.
Correct. I come from a traditional allopathic background. I studied medicine, and then I like to say Ayurveda found me, because when I was a little bit in a place where I was lost in life, I was searching for something that was more complete, where my studies had been missing. It was a lot of, pharmacology, physiology, and things like that, but I wasn't able to, help like I wanted to help.
Right, because Western medicine is they just scratch the surface.
Well, it's very symptomatic based.
Yes.
And it's separated into, you have pediatrics, you have cardiology, internal medicine, nephrology, urology, so it's broken, neurology, it's broken down into systems.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but you're right. Yeah.
Whereas Ayurveda is a holistic approach, mind, body, and spirit, looking at the whole person.
Wow. That's really a big difference. Because how many times have you gone to the doctor, everyone out there in Radio Land listening to us this morning? How many times have you gone to the doctor and then they refer you to another doctor who then refers you to another doctor?
Correct. So what's interesting is I actually like the Mayo Clinic because they do a systems approach. You go and see every kind of doctor and you get a whole system approach from the different parts, whereas an Ayurvedic practitioner, one will do all of that for you. But at least Mayo Clinic does.
They have it all under one roof.
Under one roof.
But you're still having to go from doctor to doctor to doctor. Whereas an Ayurvedic doctor, like you, we can come to you and you see us as the whole person, from top to bottom,
right,
and can begin to heal from the inside out. Starting probably with IET is...
Well, IET is actually, integrative energy therapy is actually not part of, it's not a system of Ayurveda.
Right.
Integrative, however, it can be looked upon as under Ayurveda because touch, healing through the senses is part of Ayurveda.
Ah, okay.
So, touch, sight, hearing, there's modalities, treatments for all of those, and some of them are weekly and daily, even the clearing of the senses. But touch therapy is under Ayurveda. So the integrated energy therapy that I do can be sort of considered under Ayurveda in the sense that it is touch therapy.
Okay. So one single Ayurvedic doctor, they could do like you do the IET as part of their therapy in touch, but they're going to give you nutrition. They're going to tell you how to eat, how to...
Nutrition is one of the biggest portions of Ayurveda. Agni, digestive fire, is one of the most important, and even Western medicine now, everyone talks about the mind-body connection. Well, you have a second brain in your gut, And Ayurveda says all of the diseases come actually from an imbalance in your digestion.
I have heard that. That is like really loud and clear right now, that all dis-ease begins in the gut.
Correct. And Ayurveda, it's beyond disease, because Western medicine focuses on disease. Ayurveda focuses on prevention. So one of the things of allopathic medicine, we have preventive medicine. It's a small portion of allopathic medicine. Ayurveda is basically, that's the biggest focus, is prevention.
Oh, wow.
So that you don't actually get sick. And I'd like to actually go into the definition of health, because it is not...
Cool. Okay.
The same definition as in allopathic and Western medicine. It's much more encompassing. So between 1200 BC and 600 BC, Shushruta, a great surgeon and teacher of Ayurveda, defined health as a state of equilibrium of tridosha, which is, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It's the fundamental physiology governing principles of the body, and equilibrium in the Agni, which I mentioned before, which is the metabolic and digestive processes of the body, and the Dhatus, which is the principles that uphold the formation of the body tissues. But there's, and in Sanskrit, I actually like it. It's they have shlokas. So if you learn Sanskrit, the Ayurvedic doctors in India, they memorize all these shrotas.
Are they like mantras, kind of, sort of?
They're
terms.
Sort of, yeah, because it's kind of, and then they'll remember the shloka, and then they know that particular portion of medicine to apply to that
cool.
person.
Okay.
So, but on another definition is, on a physical level, it defines a healthy person as someone whose doshas, like I mentioned before, the tridosha, the mind, body, constitution, are all in equilibrium. The digestive fire, the Agni, is in balanced state, in addition to the body's tissues, which are the Dhatus, and also waste products, which that definition doesn't include, which are the Malas. All are in balance. This includes the mind. So if any of these pieces are not in balance, then you're not in full health according to Ayurvedic standards.
Wow. That's really, really powerful, because when people talk about mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul, they just think about being in their body and knowing a little bit about their body. But I don't think they really understand the importance of being in tune, in touch, in harmony with your body. Meaning, like when you do eat something that perhaps you in your physical body is not supposed to eat, you can feel it. You get the indigestion, you get the heartburn, you get, gas, whatever, and you just go about your life.
And your body's telling you. So what's even fascinating, and I didn't believe this until I did a panchakarma, an Ayurvedic detox, and I experienced it myself, but my guru always taught me that the tongue is the most intelligent organ in the body, because when you put something in your mouth, it can detect the air, the space, the fire, the water, the earth in the food. And the tongue will, if you pay attention, if you are in tune with your body, which what you're saying is most of us are not living in the Western fast-paced, stressful culture, that if you are in tune, you can tell immediately upon that food touching your tongue if your body should be eating it or not.
Paula, that is fascinating. Ryan, is that not the coolest thing you've ever heard?
That is.
I didn't know that. Now, I mean, there you go, right there. The tongue, I know because I've been doing a lot of studying and working in a very special group about the elements, the earth, the fire, the air, and the water, and how our bodies have all of these elements in it. And I've heard you talk these few minutes about the fire of the gut, of the belly, and now you're telling me that your tongue in your mouth is so intelligent that if you truly pay attention, you can tell whether or not you really should be eating what you're putting in your mouth.
Absolutely. That's how we're disconnected. People are just...
Yeah, they're just mindlessly eating.
So,
driving through.
You mean a Big Mac's not good for me?
well, let your tongue decide. But Ayurveda teaches also that you should sit when you eat. People are eating in their cars they're rushing while they're working at their desk. Yeah. And according to Ayurveda, the healthiest way to eat is in silence, sitting, and in mindfulness.
Because then you can listen to your tongue.
But listen, the Western medicine, basically, so in Western medical terms, if you are not in parasympathetic mode, you are not in digest mode. If you are stressed and you are in sympathetic mode or fight and flight, you're running away from the tiger. Where do you think your blood and everything is going?
Yeah.
To your extremities.
Right.
So if you're eating in that mode, you are not digesting your food properly. You don't have the capacity to digest your food properly because everything is going to the extremities. You're in fight and flight. You're in sympathetic mode. You're creating stress hormones. And then what happens, and then bringing it back to Ayurveda, if you're not digesting and breaking up your food particles correctly, you're producing what they call ama, which is toxins.
And could that cause you to get sick?
Absolutely.
Well, what's coming through my head, Ryan, is, oh my gosh, diabetes, heart disease, all those things that are so prevalent right now in Western society.
But when do they catch it in Western medicine? When it's already at a disease state. And in Ayurveda, you have 6 stages of disease, and you can catch it at the first stage. So, Ayurvedic doctors are trained to do what's called a pulse diagnosis.
Okay.
And they can tell, what's going on in each organ and what imbalance you have, what your dosha is, what the mind-body constitution that you were born with, and then based on that, they can recommend, a nutrition plan, and any other mantras or mudras or any
yoga,
healing,
massage,
touch, healing through the senses, basically.
Wow, and exercise. I'm sure that's part of the go take a walk, move your body. There's so many different things that I don't think Western doctors even look at as part of the equation of healing.
Well, they don't. The system is set up that they don't have time, but what you're bringing up is basically the 5 pillars of health in Ayurveda, which is rest. Hugely important. Western medicine also recognizes how sleep is important. I forget her name, but she did a TED talk on sleep because she literally passed out
because she didn't sleep.
Because she didn't sleep, and then she made a TED talk on it. She's actually famous. I forget her name right now, but anyway, the 5 pillars of health are rest, movement, exercise. When specifically, for your body, if you're vata, if you're kapha, if you're pitta, your exercise should be different in different times. Food and nutrition, again, different for pitta, vata, kapha. And meditation, that can also vary, the timing of it and duration of it, depending on vata, pitta, kapha, and the season, and emotional well-being. It includes emotional well-being. When you go to a Western medical doctor, they don't ask you about your emotional well-being unless you will go to a psychiatrist or a therapist.
Yeah. Wow, that is so powerful.
Huge, because if you're stressed, you're actually not digesting properly, and Ayurveda tells you to eat easily digestible meals if you're stressed.
Wow. I remember my children growing up, I think that's when, like the 80s and all, I think that's when it really, really started, the drive-thrus and eating on the go and got to do this, got to do that, the busyness of our lives. But I made sure that we sat down to dinner as a family. And that is something that I think is really missing now in our society. The dinner, the family dinner at night.
It has a purpose.
It not only do you sit down to eat, like you said, but you also get that fulfillment of the mind, of the emotion, of the connection to one another. Yeah, that is totally fascinating. So let's go over the Vata Pitta. Yes, because I know I have sat with you, and that's fascinating that you talk about the pulse, because I also love acupuncture with Rachel Wilson, who comes into the House of Light once a month to do acupuncture, and that's what she does. Yep. She reads the pulses to tell what is needing opening or needing help through the needles. And she talks about the fire and the water and the earth that is in those meridian lines. So go over those three for me real quick, because everybody, all you people out there, everybody has these three elements, or very, very rarely a person could have just one element three times predominantly.
Or some people can be tridoshic. They have an equal of Vata, Pitta, of Kapha. So basically, we're the microcosm of the macrocosm.
Yes.
Which is something you were saying. But in Ayurveda, they just say that we're the microcosm of the macrocosm.
Okay. We
are affected by nature, by the seasons, by the weather changes. We're affected by all of that. And that can be, maintained by a home apothecary with just the spices, food.
Right. Wow, yeah.
So Vata is the theme of movement. It is space and air. So the qualities of Vata are light, mobile, dry, rough, cold, and subtle.
Okay.
Pitta is fire and water. It is the theme of metabolism. It is all your hormones and your digestive enzymes and all your enzymes in the body. It's all the metabolic processes in the body.
That's fascinating how you can combine the fire and water, because logically, our minds want to say, but when you mix fire and water, the water puts out the fire. But sometimes the fire can turn the water into steam.
Right.
So that's fascinating.
Right. So, when you put food in your stomach, you have a certain amount of solid, you should, when you eat, actually, you'll have a certain amount of solids, a little bit of liquid, and a little bit of air. Wow. So you shouldn't feel completely full.
Okay.
According to Ayurveda. And the qualities of Pitta are, so now it's the theme of metabolism, all the chemicals, so it's pungent, hot, penetrating, oily, sharp, liquid, spreading, sour, and light. So, so the Pitta organs are the eyes, the skin, the liver, the spleen, the stomach, and the small intestines. Vata, the seat of Vata is actually the colon, but it's the theme of movement, so it's all, it's your nervous system. So circulatory system, correct. So if you have an imbalance in Vata, you might have anxiety. You might be moving quickly. You can have joint pains, cracking of the joints, colon constipation, colon problems. Now, Pitta, like I said, you could have eye problems. You could have acid reflux. All inflammatory conditions basically involve Pitta, the fire.
Yeah.
Now, Kapha is earth and water. And Kapha is slow, heavy, cool, dense, soft, greasy, unctuous, sticky, cloudy, liquid, and sweet.
Aww.
Yes, kapha is in the heart, so it's love. It's also love.
Okay, it's love.
People who are very kapha are also very kind and loving. Not that others aren't, but they have they're a little bit more. They're a little bit more earthy and grounded, and all these have different body shapes as well, and mental capacities. So kapha is basically also pitta is muscles, but kapha is your bones. It's all the structure.
That's what that word just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Structure.
Yeah, it's
foundation.
Foundation structure. So it's like your bursa, the like a bursa, which is a protective around your joints and things like that. It's the sac around your heart. It's the pericardium. So it's all those things. And if you have issues with kapha, it's slow, heavy, so you have trouble waking up in the morning. The diabetes you were mentioning, if you're eating too many sweets, sweet is earth and water.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're craving, in our stressful lives, we often are craving, running around craving sweet. What is the craving for sweet? It's a craving for love.
Wow. That's fascinating. So if you crave sweets, you're really wanting some love. So go to a mirror and just look at yourself and say, I love you. I love you. And then you won't be eating sweets.
Yeah, mirror work is actually very powerful.
You can lose weight. just look in the mirror and love yourself, and then you can fulfill that urge, that tendency to want to go eat a donut. Right?
Right. Well, if everyone loved themselves, we would have a lot less problems in the world.
Well, that's so true. So true. Yes, definitely. So those 3 elements are in everybody.
Everyone.
And you can tell
what someone is born with. Which combination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can tell what is going on in the physical body. Like, say someone has really oily skin, then that means
pitta.
that
They're pitta, and if they're sweating a lot and the sweat is smelly, they probably have excess pitta.
So,
and that can be balanced with diet.
Right. That is fascinating. Very fascinating. Did you learn something, Ryan?
Yeah, I learned a lot this morning in 30 minutes. There's a lot more information. You're getting requests from audience to bring her back.
Okay, yeah, I told Paula I would. Yeah.
I want to learn more.
I do too. That's why I asked her to join me this morning, guys. So thank you. Thank you for reaching out. This is what I want you all to do. I want you to place your orders here at Wisdom Cafe so we can serve you better and help give you generous helpings of love and wisdom. That's why we're here.
And leave the Oreos alone because,
no more donuts.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah. So real quick today, get lots of rest. Make sure you're moving. Make sure you are eating the right foods.
For your dosha, for the season.
And meditate.
And take care of your emotions.
Do not avoid them. Yes. Yeah, so that
Listen.
mirror work kind of checks off 2 things.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you work on your emotions and So, and you can meditate driving in a car. You really can.
Walking.
Yeah, walking. When you're getting your exercise, you can meditate. Turn the music off and just be present in the moment.
Or you can listen to Wisdom Cafe while you're meditating.
Always tune into 99.1 FM.
and of course, following that is the lyrical wisdom coming up next. So you can meditate while you listen to the shows.
Yes. Thank you all so much for joining us here on WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, for another episode of The House of Light presents Wisdom Cafe, and we will have Dr. Paula back. Thank you so much, Paula, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You served up a healthy dose of wisdom. I appreciate you, and I'm sure all of you do too. Thank you very much. See you next week.